I sent a thing like looking for a
okay.
purchase order
Oh,
today
that's
from a
got it.
customer, and they're like, "There's already a
I
PO
didn't know
reference."
who that was
I'm
underneath
sorry, when
that
I
hat
copied and
there.
pasted, I forgot.
Call the Village of Holly Parks Commission meeting to, meeting to this evening at 6 o'clock. Let's see, can we have a, sorry, I'm wording this, call to order sorry, I'm tongue-tied. 6 o'clock on April 1st, thank you. Roll call, please. Roll call.
Pledge first.
Oh, sorry. Boy, yeah, joke's on me. Pledge of allegiance, stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
No, I didn't.
Thank you, Chris. Now can we have the roll call, please?
You certainly can. Hamilton,
Here.
McCanny.
Here.
Taylor.
Here.
Keikos.
Here.
Kyer.
Here.
Carl.
Here.
Peltonen.
Here.
Next is approval of the agenda. Does anybody have anything they want to add to the agenda for this evening?
I have a question about adding items to the agenda.
Okay.
I would like to have signs, our sign discussion added to the agenda. I've got my emails and stuff out for that, so I just don't know how we go about that process. Do I ask here in this moment or at our commentary?
Did you want to put it on tonight's agenda, or did you want to talk about
I
it?
haven't
the
gotten
next one?
information back, but I've sent information out to gather information, so I figure I would have worthy discussion items next month.
Okay, okay, then we can just put it on the next week,
Okay.
next agenda. Anything else? I need a motion to approve the agenda of April 1st, 2026.
I will make the motion to approve the agenda for April 1st, 2026.
Support, please.
I'll support that.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any adjustments to the minutes of March 4th, 2026? Anybody have anything to say? I need a motion to approve the minutes of March 4th, 2026.
I'll approve the minutes. I'll make a motion to approve it.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we have public comment not related to the agenda. Members of the public can address the commission once recognized by the chairperson. Comments are limited to a maximum of 4 minutes for items not on the agenda. Commission may extend this time up to an additional 4 minutes by a majority vote. For items on the agenda, comments may be made after commission discussion prior to commission vote. Prior to addressing commission, members of the public shall state their name and address for the record. The first item in old business is budget items. Oh, yeah, public comment, please. Thanks for helping me out, you guys.
Oh, no problem. My name is Shannon Cole. I live at 731 Sherman Street here in the Village of Holly. I just wanted to come and talk a little bit about the tree program from Neighborhood Forest that we have. So signups ended. We have a grand tally of 140 trees that we are going to be giving out to children at our Holly Parks Cleanup Day on April 25th. It's hit we've put it in different social media groups. It's gone out on the village website and stuff like that too, where that will happen. Delivery of the trees will take place here at the village. They're going to accept the delivery. I will come and grab them. We'll keep the roots nice and moist until we actually pass them out on the Cleanup Parks Day. I know there was some confusion. I think the Holly Post wrote an article about it and it mentioned Earth Day. That is the generic website information, but we had went ahead and decided prior to that we are giving ours out at the cleanup and not on Earth Day. So I wanted to clarify that also for anybody, that it is going to happen at our Village Parks Cleanup Day at Waterworks. 140 trees are going to students in this area, so very cool. Does anybody have any questions about that?
So that 140 trees are for the students?
It's for school-age kids, so it started as just for village residents and then was shared by the school district, and we accepted all Holly kids in that. So any students within Holly is going to get it. So not all are village residents, but they're all Holly kids, so, yeah, which is very cool. It is going to be, at this moment, a native tree. We're not entirely sure. Last year, it was a cedar tree. They're thinking it's going to be another cedar, but I haven't gotten that email yet as the coordinator of what tree specifically. And then the actual neighborhood forest will be sending out to all the families that registered what species of tree they're getting and planting instructions. So they'll get all of that ahead of time, and they'll just come to Parks Cleanup where we'll pass out the saplings to everybody. I have a spreadsheet with everybody's names, how many students or children that they have that are going to get the trees, and we'll just highlight them off and hand them out. So should be pretty simple, very nice way to get some trees in the hands of our kids.
Do you need any assistance from us on handing them out?
I think I have all the volunteers covered. At the time, if maybe we have our Parks Commissioner who is kind of overseeing volunteers, if they also want to jump into the table and pass out some trees, that should be fine. But I have a few volunteers who are going to be with me. I think we'll be okay. Yeah.
So because it's Holly kids, that includes Davisburg?
Yes, it went to all
Yeah.
Holly area schools,
Pretty neat.
so
it
yeah.
isn't just the village.
It is not just the village. It did go out to the entirety of Holly Area School District. And so, I'm not gonna turn down children. It's a free program in the first place. We're just gonna give them out to every kid that signed up.
Super cool, thank
Yeah.
you.
Do you know, have you done this before, passing them out? Is there any instructions given to the kids about where to plant them?
It is all emailed, so they do get a full instruction on like where they can plant, what type of sun, watering instructions, all of that comes through Neighborhood Forest based on the species of tree they give. So they send them ahead of time what it is. We won't have anything printed for them necessarily. If they do just send us one species, we can pre-print some things, but I haven't gotten that official tally from them yet.
Just because it's the park cleanup day and Earth Day, do you mind having your volunteers just make mention as they're passing them out to? that
Check
they're
their
not-
email?
Not to be, yeah, or just that they're not to be planted in the park
Yes,
or on, private property. or
yes, yeah,
personal property.
yeah, absolutely, yeah.
That's not what we're doing, planting 140 trees.
I mean, no.
But just to.
Yes,
yeah.
absolutely, yeah. No, I would hope that that was kind of understood, but you never know, and, yeah,
Always
yes,
good to say
yeah,
it.
yeah. You never know.
Just in case.
Yes, no, absolutely. Any?
This is great, though. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
that's
for
Yeah,
awesome,
yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, hopefully next year we'll be able to give people a little bit more time on, signing up. This was, a quick thing where I thought, oh my goodness, we can get us in there, so we're gonna do it, but there was really only a 2-week window for signups for everybody, so hopefully next year we'll have a little bit more notice. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else for public comment? Is that John? John, come on up and state your name and address, please.
Hi, John Love, 200 North Saginaw. That's in Holly. I wanted to give this to the township to put up and provide information about the parks. So you can go somewhere and get information and find out what's there in a handout in some form. You go there, you don't know you have that overlook, that you have to walk a great distance to get to the river. With a map there and some directions and some of the facilities that you have. And then they go down here and they're putting up big billboards with the name of the park down by Bush Lake, and junk it all up with trees and street lights that were left over from the village, instead of having a nice lake front view in the middle of town that nobody has. So these are assets that we have, and they're just junking them up. So that's what I'd like to have it looked at and promoted. People don't know we have a museum that is buried back in the back of the park. So make these assets that we have that are fabulous assets more visible and knowledgeable about and promote them in that way. So this is a contribution to provide information for the parks so that people can know what we have here. Because otherwise you don't know how many parks are have or how to launch your canoe and what's involved in going on a canoe ride. I've paddled from here to Benton in a canoe. So I've been down that road too. So where should I put this?
That, we are not the Township Parks Board, we are the Village Parks Board.
Well, you
And so
don't-
Sorensen does not fall under,
Oh, so you don't,
our
you
purview.
don't relate with them at all?
we do, but we can't take Holly Township's
You can-
property.
Okay, I'll give it to them personally.
Okay.
But I'd like to see this assets that we have promoted so that people are knowledgeable of what's here, whoever's park it is.
Thank you, John. Is there anyone else for public comment? There's no one else for public comment. We'll move to old business. Number 1 is budget items.
Okay. Were we supposed to be getting information back from Danny about some of the items that we discussed last month?
Well, I know that we had talked about the repairs during our walkthrough for the bridge at Waterworks Park. That's definitely within our budget constraints, so I don't think we really need to discuss it. We should be able to take care of those. I know that Amber had asked a couple meetings ago, probably January meeting, kind of where we were at with our budget, and that nothing had been spent out of it, but there were a few things that have been spent out of the parks project budget so far. The majority of it has been Halloween. And then also there was a little bit of soil for the planting box at the Ganshaw Park H. So currently we're standing at $23,621.27.
Thank you,
Okay.
Danny. So with that said, we need to spend that, if we're going to spend that, we have to spend that by June. That is the end of our fiscal year. So
And-
kind of under the gun a little bit.
And how much was it? How much is left?
23,000?
Yep, $23,621.27.
What was the estimation on the boards to replace, that needed to be replaced?
I can't imagine it would be more than a couple $100.
Okay, that's
Yep.
easy then.
Yep.
I think Tim had something he wanted to talk about, the deck, the dock at Bush Lake,
Oh,
some information.
yeah, as far as, I know, I don't know if you looked into it, but I got a hold of a person at the DNR, contacted and reached out to Eagle. And as far as everything that I found out and through research, they've all told me was, we don't need a permit to put in a dock. It's, you know, as long as like, it falls under our own ordinances. So it's like, since the launch is village property, then it's basically like what we want to do with it. It's not a permanent structure, so as long as it doesn't stay there through the winter, it won't be deemed permanent. And, you know, no permanent needed. And it's just basically, you know, come and go as you please with it, so there's no further worries on that part. So it's just coming down to putting it on and trying to figure out next steps further past that. But I talked to, what was his name? John out of the Bay City DNR office. So, but yeah, there's no DNR or Eagle involvement needed.
Now, is this something that come out of our parks budget? Is this something that is under parks jurisdiction?
The boat launch is village property. It's technically within village property. I can't say for sure if it's like necessarily under parks. I would have to look into really property lines as to where that falls into.
Right, because I
It's-
didn't even know if that was a park at that point.
Right. it's certainly something we can investigate to see if it's somewhere that you would be able to spend your money. It's really in your,
Impression that that is part of
Right.
Lakeside Park.
That's when DNR, the guy
I'm-
that I talked to at the DNR looked it up. It's not state property.
right, correct.
It's.
I think it would just
falls
be,
into-
it would just be a difference between like village, like all properties are village owned, but would it be coming out of one of my budget line items as a village purchase versus a parks purchase? To me, the parks could really probably spend their money where they wanted to in terms of village assets, so.
Okay, and so about, what are we talking about? I know we discussed some of this the last time. What,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
just a rough estimate of, that's what I thought.
Yeah, the estimates I had was, one with delivery and install was exactly, $9,990.48. Another one, you know, this one, no delivery, no install, the next two, I should say, was $8,176. And then the other one was $6,003.84. That one had a 15-year warranty, the last one. The first one, the, $9,000 one had a 10-year full warranty. And, the other one, the middle one, I believe was also a 10-year warranty. I forgot to write down that, but they're both all based off of two 16-foot, just plain aluminum sections, so 32-foot total, and, like a little 4-foot kicker off the end to, like, take the step off on it, so it's like, where it meets the land, you just got a little 4-foot little extension piece that you just kind of put over, just to
Right.
kind of
So-
angle it down.
Yeah,
and
we,
get it to
we
step
saw
up.
some of that you gave us
Yeah.
before.
So to put it in as a ramp, how do you get it in the water?
It's a roller dock, so it's on wheels.
Okay.
So it'll wheel in and out. Being these type here that I looked at, they're super light, like 2 people can pick them up and move them.
You
When
brought
I
us
went to
pictures
go
last
look at them,
I did see the pictures, but I didn't see the wheels.
yeah, oh, they're rather large wheels.
Oh,
Yeah, almost like 2-foot diameter wheels.
all right.
They're really big wheels. They also come with, the equipment to like, almost like a tent stake, but, on a obviously much bigger scale, but they kind of, screw, auger into the ground to hold it, so you don't just wheel it out there and leave it.
Right.
It's got a way to anchor it down, but it's still deemed non-permanent because you remove those and take it out. It's not like it's put in there and, got the stakes in like 3-4 foot into the ground and it's never coming out again. And it's all done with a power drill and you level it out with a drill and a socket and everything.
Is there equipment needed in order to install the actual temporary pylons?
That's, yeah, the auger stakes,
Yeah,
that's just using a socket and impact drill.
it's big enough to do that? Okay.
Yep, I think he said it was like a 1 1.25 inch socket, I wanna say was what you needed.
Okay.
Just, nothing crazy, just regular impact
Sure.
and same thing just to level it out. Socket and drill, just you can sit there, level out the deck using an impact.
It's rather shallow right there too, so my question would be, is 32 feet long enough? Like
That's
to me,
just a
to
The
me,
idea is for kayaks, right? Like, that's the
for
idea.
boats. Yeah, I don't know how deep it is going out, so I was at 32 foot out, 32 feet of dock, that puts it approximately 20 to, 23 foot out into the water. So,
Which is a lot further than what we have now. That
yeah.
looks like it
that's
only goes
past
out
where
about
the
10
launch
feet.
ends anyways, so.
So those anchors would have to straddle the cement that's already,
it would go next to the
No, it
cement.
goes right next to it.
Yeah, over to the left.
Yeah,
The whole
just-
raft would go on the side of the cement that's there, not on it. A
Yeah, if you're looking at the
Be
dock,
alongside? the
yeah, you can see
cement?
the concrete going down. If you just look to your left, you can see the line, and that's where, yeah, I kind of vision it being put, like right along that.
Okay. Well, that makes perfect sense.
Do
So
we-
it's not a kayak launch per
Per
proper,
se, but you
but
could
it
use
could
it.
be, it could assist somebody who wanted to load and unload there.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was
Which you
just
don't,
for-
that was my point, like with a kayak, like you don't need it to be very deep.
Yeah, no, it'd be good for boats, it'd be, it's adjustable in height too, so I think they said that it's good for, God, without my little book here, I can't see, I'm going off memory, up to like 15-something foot deep, 20 foot deep.
Wow.
And then that, so I mean, they can adjust to reach. And I mean, they're putting pontoons and fishing boats out there. So, I mean, it should be able to adjust to handle it. I don't know the exact depth out that far. And I wasn't able to before the ice melted to find out, unfortunately. So I'll have to talk to some people that know the lake and find out.
So is this something we want to consider? Should we put it on as a agenda item next month?
Well, I think
We
I think
need
it's a
to-
strong contender.
Right, we need to move on it pretty
Something that
quickly if we
can
need to
check off
spend
of our-
it.
Off of the bucket list that we have for parks.
Yeah,
We
because
can fit it
that
into the budget.
cement is the problem we're having.
Right.
The cement part of it.
Well, the hopes with the dock, that's why I keep bringing it up, is, you know, like without anything there, they're power loading and unloading their trailers, which is what's eroding the dirt away at the end of the concrete. So if you got a dock there to help assist in that, then, not saying they're gonna stop doing it, but it should ease up on doing it. You can also have a sign on there, you know, I mean, we're gonna need signage anyways, but on the sign, say, no power loading or unloading or whatever anyways, but, you know, in hopes with the dock there would help, you know, ease up on them doing that. And, you know, again, it'd get it out further past that, and then we could even look into something as, you know, grading it, you know, just trying to fill in the hole. I don't know if that's an Eagle thing or not, because you're not removing dirt, just trying to move the dirt back over into the hole, but that's another story for something else, but.
Okay, so why don't we look into what budget this is going to come out of, and if it's possible for us to use our parks budget, or if it's going to come out of something else, the DPW. And why don't you kind of try to see if you can finalize some of the things that we've
Make sure
brought
our
up
prices
here?
haven't changed.
And then we can put it
Yeah,
as
all-
on a,
Yeah, all my quotes were done around boat show, and these are not boat show quotes. So these are quotes without no boat show discount and just bare bones, no
okay,
fanciness into it. I mean, one was offering to, you know, do you need reflectors or lights or anything like that? And I'm like, no, because if it can pop off or get stolen, 10 to 1 is going to, because it's going to be out in public. This isn't for
Okay.
residential, so.
Another thing that we discussed at length at the end of last year, and it came up again at our parks walkthrough, was purchasing some toddler play equipment. I think it was Amber who was spearheading that, and then Brian, was it Brian or was it you that brought us images of
It was me.
you? Okay. But we could probably earmark a couple pieces of that play equipment and then set it up where we want to eventually build the whole tot lot at Lakeside Park.
Right, or even, yeah, just augment it. Since we're talking about that, I will, well, you can just pass on. These are some of the things that I looked up. I did get, like, I did look up those shades that we were talking about.
Yes.
They run about $6-7 grand in order to do it. That, yeah. And then looked up some of the bouncers. I know we talked about music, like as they can kind of walk around.
Yes,
So,
the music
I
stations.
just wanna pass these
Yep, I'm
down.
just looking.
So yeah, I've got some quotes. The name of the company is Game Time. They do a lot of playground equipment. They just did one up in Oxford. They also offer grants for playground equipment, 50% matches, some of them are 25% matches, so I'm gonna look into that as well.
That would be great.
Yeah,
We could put
well, because they had so they have a tot lot playground for $15,000. If we can get a grant to match 7,500, that's,
But is
That's
that
pretty big
something
for
that we
us.
could do and allocate by June?
no, but
So we
these
need this
these
one.
are like standalone kind of things.
So we have $23,000 left to spend. Seriously?
This is, just to
What
be
a
clear, this
terrible
always happens
problem.
to us.
Yeah,
We
really?
are very fiscally responsible as a Parks Department.
Pretty
We have never
awesome.
come even close to spending the entirety of the budget.
Oh,
always
this is
time.
only one,
They're all.
Yeah, they're all
Oh.
together, like,
not take
Oh.
one, pass it down.
What?
I didn't want to print out
I don't see anything
70
wrong.
Wait a minute.
It's like we're all getting a different instrument.
I see.
And I know we had talked about, like, there was this swing we had talked about as well.
I like that sale.
Yeah, right, and then we
Is
don't
that,
have
that's
to
what,
worry.
the sales what you were talking about as the temporary shading?
Exactly,
Okay.
instead, because even if we plant trees around there, it's gonna take years before they mature
Are
and
we,
give any shade.
are we
so
trading
we
these? Is that what we're
can
doing?
do those shade structures.
I love that sunshade idea. I think
So-
it's genius. It's a big, huge play area.
How
They're-
big is that
It's in the
shade?
sun.
Yeah, right, that was my next question.
15 by
That would,
15 by 15?
21 by 20.
Yeah, there's different sizes on the sunshades.
There's like 10 sizes here.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, because I imagine, some are smaller, like, it all depends on the size. Like, do we
What
want it
is
to
this?
go over the entirety of it? Do we want it to just be positioned in a corner, like that?
Well, for the sake of having Independence Day there and the fireworks there annually, we do want it to be something that we can take down without huge amount of effort.
Exactly, which
So
it
if we
looks
do the
like.
whole area, that's probably gotta be a lot taller, right?
True story.
And then that would probably involve a fire truck to get it down
Yeah, messing up our grass, because even
and
just.
messing up our, yeah. So maybe
Probab-
we don't wanna do the entire.
That's what I'm
maybe
thinking, like,
part.
even if you do a little bit, and
It
then
gives-
the way that the sun hits it or whatever, it's still gonna provide shade for most of it.
Right, it gives the option of shade or no shade too, so the whole thing isn't covered. Some
Exactly.
people want to play in the sun. Yeah.
Yeah. Are these meant to come down in the winter, or can they weather?
Yeah, you can take them down. They're put together by like carabiners, basically. So yeah, you just unhook those carabiners. The poles will stay in place,
But can they handle Michigan winters if they didn't come down?
Probably not.
I mean, I would
Snow.
probably recommend taking them
Yeah,
down.
why
I mean,
would we
these
not?
are playground, like made for playgrounds, right? They're made to be outside. This is like a Michigan company, so
Oh, here.
they're used to that kind of stuff, but I would still
Whoever wants
probably
to look.
recommend taking that.
How tall are they? How high up?
It all, again, it all
It
depends on what we
depends.
want, what we want.
15, 20, 25 or 30 feet tall, wait. Yeah, in tree
Oh,
heights.
this is a bongo drum. I'm trying to figure out why this is not looking like a shade.
Here's another percussion.
I love that you found all the instruments, like we had talked about putting them around the
Exactly,
circle.
putting them
Yes.
around
To
and the
encourage
kids.
the movement throughout the park. I like that.
And I know we wanted to kind of avoid tunnels. We don't want places where people can hide and do mischievous things.
Okay, so I think we need to give some thought and consideration to this and
Here's some of the, if we go to the new spring toys.
where the springs are covered so they can't get their
Right,
hands
those
going.
are like $1,500.
And that's why I thought like fire truck would kind of fall into like Holly's thing. But again, yeah, if we're going to do this, like, we kind of have to
How much
move
are the percussion
fast.
ones?
Right.
So
What?
the percussion toys are kind of in the ballpark of around 1,600. The spring toys are kind of in the ballpark of around 1,500. The saucer swing
Is a little bit more.
7,000.
Exactly. I know, I couldn't believe how expensive the saucer swing was.
And 4 entry heights.
And then
Yeah,
the,
it needs to be.
we're looking at 10 grand probably for a big sale.
If
And then
it's,
that.
Right, but I'm thinking like the sale probably maybe next budget like session, because again, then we'll get that other $5
Right.
grand from Loom that's already donated and use up what we can this year out of that 5,000 that they donated to us this year.
So you
if we
wanna-
can just pick a couple,
Pick a
But if we
couple
pick a
toys.
couple of the spring toys plus a couple of the percussion toys, like where you
Right, I just wanna leave enough for like his,
But then,
Thing
I
too.
think if we did that, I'm just looking at like trying to spend about 10 grand on that, that would still
Right.
give us,
13 for him.
I would keep in
Right.
mind, next year, we definitely need to think about, I mean, obviously after July, through, with our parks walkthrough, we identified a lot of areas that are gonna need softball chips next year. The last time we did that, it was like 16,000, so that's gonna eat up your budget a lot come
Okay.
next budget season, so just keep that in mind with
Well, we don't
next
have
year's
to-
spending.
yeah, but
sorry.
if we can get some more grants lined up, which is what we were also talking about at our walkthrough, I think that I would really like to see, money
Does anybody
invested
want to
put in
look
a
at the rest of
tot lot.
those?
Even if we don't get the whole thing funded through this budget, if we get some steps put into place.
And we don't have to do all these during this budget. We can,
We
do
really
we?
should, we have
Do we?
$5,000 that was donated specifically for playground
Oh,
equipment that
okay,
I would
sure,
recommend that
yeah.
we use that, because otherwise then we just lose it.
Lose it, right. Oh, that looks like fun.
Is that
Saucer
money in
swing. Why is
addition
that so much
to
money?
the 23,000, or it's a
No,
part of
that's all
that?
part of it,
Really?
yeah.
I'll give you an old tire and a rope, we'll
for
be
the-
fine.
Yeah.
The tot lot space, are you talking about the place?
Well, I think right now we should probably just augment where we have the rest of the stuff.
Okay.
And that was more future down the line, because again,
The
that's gonna
sandbox.
be probably about 20 grand with, between fencing and putting the structure in. We're gonna need soft fall, like that's gonna be a bigger project to create an
What we were talking about at our
entire.
walkthrough was having it around the slides area, you know, that smaller in front of the swings? Over at Lakeside, like kind of around that area.
Oh,
putting
Near
in a
the
few other
sandbox.
well,
So
I
that's a
thought
good
it was
idea.
by the sandbox.
Yeah, it'd be
Well,
that
well,
corner
we
of the
wanna put in
fence.
a playground
Yeah.
there. If we did these little things, wouldn't that be kind of around the slide?
I would put it more with like the bigger stuff, because there's still room
In
in
it?
that big circle, yeah, to do, like, especially like if you do these instruments along kind of where the sidewalk goes, so that the
Okay.
kids are kind of, and again, it makes it ADA accessible, that somebody can just
That's very
be
true.
working around the side of it and using that.
Oh, right.
And are these gonna go in the softball?
Yeah, they would be in the softball area.
So that's no mowing either, you know,
Right,
there's
right,
that.
you wouldn't have to
that
worry
You wouldn't have
about
to
that.
mow around them. Were there any of these things that you were particularly interested in, or that you thought? Because
I like
you're
the bouncer, either the fire truck or the ladybug or
Or
whatever.
two, I think we should do two of them, if we
Okay.
can,
Okay, which again is only 3,000 together.
right.
And then if you do like the flower and the, like bongos, because Caterpillar's kind of expensive.
Yeah, but the bongo sounds like fun.
But then with those, yeah, we're looking at under 5 grand for all, like 4 new things in that park.
I would love to add one of those spinny toys.
Are these the spring toys that the kids sit on? Is that what you're talking
Yeah.
about?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, like these
Those are
guys.
awesome. I agree, getting 2 of those would be better. It's a big area, and these are always such a blast for kids. They're
Right.
so much fun.
I know.
I mean, even I remember loving them when I was a kid.
But you know, also the spinny toys are like where you sit on it and it's been,
Yup, I looked at a
I've
couple
seen
of those.
those.
Those run about 3 grand is what I was looking at in terms of that. But even with this, we could potentially have,
right.
Money
But
in
also
there
that's
together.
all ages too.
But
that can
we're
play
looking
with it.
at 3 things here. We're looking at the ramp, we're looking at the toys, and we're looking at the shade protector thing. So how much is all this costing us?
oh, the shade protector, you're looking at like 6,700. And you know, they do have the different sizes, so I don't know if it's gonna be more than that 67 if we go with a bigger entry height.
Okay, because we want to be able to fit in everything.
Well, I
think.
have another topic to bring up that we should discuss too.
I'm sorry.
It's okay, but I'm just, when we were discussing,
Uh-huh.
when we were at Ganshaw Park, we were discussing about trying to get some forward motion on the project that we already had approved through council. Is there anything, like specifically, we were talking about paying to have the fen evaluated, or the area that could be a fen evaluated? Is there anything that we can allocate in this budget that could help us with pushing that forward?
I kind of have something to say about that.
Yeah.
Remember my comment about the person that I see when I'm
Yeah.
walking? I did run into him. He was going to come to this evening's meeting, but had something he had to do in Mount Pleasant and will be coming to the next meeting.
Great.
So
And he was, remind me, he was somebody who could evaluate or does,
he used to be the, shoot, for one of the counties. He used to be the person that went and did like the lakes and the ponds and the rivers and evaluated the
Like a water
systems and,
resource.
county commissioner
okay.
for, one of the counties. I don't remember which one it was, but I did ask him and he said, yeah, he could come and if, he was talking about invasive species. Some cattails are not considered an invasive species. Some of them are, so he really wants to just look and see if it still is a viable fen.
I agree.
He has the ability to evaluate that?
Yes.
That'd be great.
His
But I
name,
agree that like, we should find out whether that's a fen or not before we
Yes.
mess with any
Heck, yeah,
of that
because we
vegetation.
can also, if it is a fen, there's probably a lot of financial assistance we can qualify for. But did you get his name and his phone number?
I did, his name is Eric Olson, he lives here, he lives in one of the apartments above
Eric
Blue's.
Olson, we need you to show up.
He is, he's gonna come to the next meeting.
Or even that, would it be appropriate if Danny contacted him?
I
We could
see.
even have him take a look at stuff now if they're wanting to coordinate.
I can ask him.
I think I've already solicited bids for the Fen operation, but that was like last year, so I'd have to go back to see how much that was gonna cost. $3,000 sticks out in my head, I don't remember, so.
I thought you said like 3 or 6.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I mean, if we could save 3, we could get an extra,
Yeah, if you could give me that contact information, Risa, I can definitely reach out to him.
you do have it, right?
What?
So we'd still have, so since
We
you
do
brought that
have
up though, like,
what?
we still have room in the budget to potentially do that.
Right,
If we
Well,
don't
to
do the
get,
sale.
to get the ball rolling and, like, just let's, because
not county
we did so
commissioner.
much work last year on that project, and then everything just kind of fell apart with funding issues. Now we gotta find grant opportunities, but is there anything that we can do or need to do to spend money on in order to make those kinds of things get moving?
I'm pushing for some money in the budget for this project specifically. I can't promise anything, as you know, but I am pushing for it, so we'll see what we can come up with.
Does it bode well for that, the initiative that you're taking, if we're also putting money towards, if we're investing in that as well?
I
And I
can't say
misspoke. He was
either one way or another. I mean, if we want to move it forward, we can definitely move it forward with a study of the fen. It is going to cost money probably, unless we can find somebody that will do it for free and still has the credentials to do so.
Yeah, it has the credentials.
And I misspoke, he was a conservation director for one of the counties, he was not a county commissioner.
Okay, well,
that's
And
even
more
better.
promising.
right now, he does landscape architecture for several firms, he works independently.
Okay.
So do we want to maybe take a vote tonight on this playground equipment minus the sale, just to make sure that we have enough money and we can do a little bit more research on the sale, to have Danny look into
Yeah.
the bongos, the Ladybug Spring Rider, the Fire Truck Spring Rider, and the Orange Top Flower.
And the caterpillar.
The Caterpillar's like
That's,
6
yeah,
grand.
that's like
What?
Yeah.
almost a, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I know. I put that in there just so you guys can see, like, I think it's important that people see of like, why can't you just throw that in there? These things are $6,000 and $7,000. Like, our water, like drinking water out there was like $7 grand to just get a water fountain.
We could make that caterpillar with some folders.
is that installed?
Pinterest.
Is that installed, or do we put them in?
I believe we would have to do the installation, like they would do like delivery or whatever, and then we would do, and like our DPW would do installation. So we'd wanna keep that within, again, keep that in mind,
Yeah.
that we're going to have to pay that installation, but honestly, like these, I don't imagine the installation's gonna be too crazy.
I have no idea.
Right, no, you just, yeah.
So,
We don't imagine it.
can we decide on which ones we want? And
Yeah, I I think that she just, I think that
That's,
was.
yeah, it was this, the flower, like, that you can make music with, the bongos, like the drums, the ladybug spring rider, and then the fire truck spring
And
rider.
how much is all of that?
It was 54, I think just under $5,500.
I had the math going.
I think it was like 54.95.
Do we,
54.97.
do we need to, do we need a motion? Do we need to vote on this?
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
Yeah, because
So-
we're spending money, yeah.
Would you care to make the motion? Because you've got the paperwork in front of you, that would be helpful.
You want to write down the number?
No, it's okay. I would like to make a motion to have Danny look into purchasing the fire truck spring rider, the ladybug spring rider, the tot bongos, and the orange tot flower.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I believe you have to do a voice vote
Do
when
we-
it comes to money.
Yes.
Okay.
Chris, could you call,
I sure can.
please?
Peltonen,
Yes.
McCanny,
Yes.
Hamilton,
Yes.
Taylor,
Yes.
Kyer,
Yes.
Carl,
Yes.
Keikos.
Yes.
Are we done? Okay, next, under old business is tree board discussion, and I believe Jeff is going to handle that one.
Actually, well,
We-
before you move, I just have one question. You want me to look into the dock?
Yes.
Yeah, are we gonna do anything with the dock discussion, or what, where did that end up?
I think it ended up that you were going to look into whether, whose budget that was going to come out of, and you were going to tell us,
You want me to get a better quote, like a revised quote?
yeah, just kind
We're
of
gonna approve it next
go
month.
over the rough edges, make
Okay.
sure you can give us a complete what we're going to do with what.
Okay, I can get a revised quote. The other
No,
question I have
we need to
is,
fix the roof of the DP, that's where that roof needs
I,
to go.
I won't have any money for a
I
dock.
asked this last time it was brought up was, would this be a, do we have a tax exempt status for purchasing stuff like this, or is there?
Yes,
Yes.
We do?
yes.
Then I'm gonna need that number, please, so I can give that to them.
Okay,
It's kind of a whole form we would have to fill out.
what,
Okay,
Yep.
well, at least I can tell them, then, that way then they'll change the quote.
I think
because all this-
if you were able just to tell them that we were tax exempt, they should be able to give you an accurate quote like that.
Okay, that's all I needed to know.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
I guess it is coming out of the parks budget.
Yeah, I won't have any money in any of my budgets to pull for a dock, I'm not gonna lie to you, so.
So
If-
we
if-
still have, even after what we just voted for, you still have like $17,000 though, so that falls well within that realm.
Yeah,
And then hopefully maybe use a little bit for that softball.
and then out of the three I listed, was there a certain one you wanted me to look into more than the other?
Do you want it installed? Spend the money?
I kinda lean towards the delivery and the install
Is
initially.
this something we want to vote on this evening, or do we want to,
Yeah,
Put
because
it-
we gotta move on this, so we
Well,
have to spend the
no.
money.
we do have to spend the money, we have to spend the money by the end of June. We have another month after this, if we could make a decision at that time, but we can also vote on it tonight. It doesn't matter to me. I just want to know what the figures are.
Yeah, like I said, I got the roundabouts here.
Okay.
And I can call them. Like I said, me personally, I'm leaning more towards having the delivery and install, and that way they can show how it goes in and, I don't know, takes
Yeah.
away the first season.
I would lean towards that as well, and then we could at least have some DPW staff involved and see how they do it and actually understand the process of it, since we'll be handling it from here on out. But also, I do think we need to consider the fact that me personally, when we met at the boat launch, there's gonna need to be some sort of landing or something, because next to the boat launch there itself is just a drop off, it's just a hill.
Well, no, that's what I said. I talked
So-
to the DNR and reached out to Eagle and talked to them, and there's no issues.
Right,
we
but we're
have
still
to-
going to have to
we have to
flatten that out is what
modify-
he's saying.
I'm just
We
saying,
have to
we're
make
gonna have to
it
modify the
accessible
earth.
For people to walk onto it.
Right.
Right now, there's a
Yeah.
big hump of dirt there.
Right.
Yeah, take off the top, put that down, the little kicker should go over like that.
Are you confident that we can handle that?
Like if
There's
you're looking
only
at
room
the
on the
water,
left
the,
side.
Are you confident we can do that?
Yeah.
Okay. So do we want to do it?
Do you wanna get the
Yeah.
pricing and we'll
I would
vote on it next
prefer-
month?
Next
Yeah.
one, I think.
I
Yeah,
That way
I'll-
we
I'll
can
get-
see like the full packets again in the presentation and like talk about it, like to make
Yeah,
sure
I'll
we're
get it.
choosing correctly.
I'll just deal
That's
with,
kind of what I wanted to do, but
Yeah.
if you think we need to move on it tonight, that's fine.
This, that would give us some time as well, DPW. I can get a guy with some waders and we could actually go out and measure how deep the water is.
Do those waiters come out of our budget?
We have waders.
let me know when you're out there, I'd let you know.
I need to make sure it's gonna work, because the other thing is too, is if we install it and it's not long enough, then there's really no point other than kayaks, but, the majority, to me, it sounds like it would be for larger boats that are launching in the lake. So we need to make sure that it's far enough out into the lake that it's actually gonna be usable by those larger boats, pontoon boats, speedboats, stuff like that, in order for it to be used properly. So, I'm all about it. I'm just saying we should really make sure that it's gonna
Yeah, make sure it
be
reaches
long
out
enough,
far enough
because
and
if the quote needs to be for another section, the quote needs to reflect that, that's all, so,
Okay.
okay.
I can even get a quote for an extra third piece, just in case.
Yeah, I probably would try to do it that way, go with the 32, but until we have staff go out there and actually figure out how deep that water
You
gets,
could just play it now.
then
and watch it.
we should
Okay.
be mindful of that.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay.
I can do that.
I was gonna do it in my comments, but I can say I did reach out to Eagle. I talked to one engineer that said he also believed that for a temporary dock, we wouldn't need it. I was looking to get a hold of, Sue Patty, who's been instrumental with the dam work and everything, but she's kind of the one that would have the final say of this, and I haven't heard back from her. I'm waiting for that final okay, I'll be honest, before, so this will give us a little more time to also get that final okay.
Okay.
I just wanted to point out a couple more budget things that we did not discuss tonight, that we did discuss on our parks walkthrough, which is grass seed that was needed at Waterworks, I believe, and I think Danny had said it'd probably be about $180. And then we have the swing set that massively needs repainted at Crapo Park and at Lakeside, because they're both showing rust and looking not so hot anymore with all their nice swings. They deserve a good paint job, and so that's probably something we should discuss too, because it's a monetary expense, so we have to approve those things, right?
In addition to that, we also had the possibility of pouring a couple more concrete pads for benches.
For the
Crapo Park,
benches
which
at
was
Crapo.
on our budget. With all of those things, painting the swings, pouring the pads for new benches, planting the grass seed, all that stuff would be fantastic to come out of this budget,
Yes,
so we can get those done this year.
yes. Get park
Well-
cleanup done and start moving forward.
Well, in that note, we also have that handicap ramp access to the pavilion
Correct.
that I had forgotten about
That's
because
not
the
even in my
lady's
notes,
still
I
in
forgot
Florida.
about that.
So at least we need to talk about those things on the next meeting.
And I don't want to, I know we don't want to make signs a major deal. I know they're expensive, and we've talked about doing, changing all of them to make them cohesive eventually as a years-long project. But the one at Waterworks really is peeling and falling apart. It is chunking off onto the ground around it, and it does not look good at one of the main entry points in town to have our park sign falling apart like that. Just my opinion there, I just don't think it looks very good.
I agree.
But like I said, that could be a next month discussion, because I'm waiting on some responses. I've sent things out to Calypso Signs as well as to PCI Sign. They've done some signs here too. A Holly resident here is the general manager for them. So I have talked to both of these people about the signs, and I've sent them a list of requesting general information and what types of materials. We're looking at approximately the sizes. That way I can get an idea to bring to y'all so that we can ask for a specific something. And I did ask also if we were to purchase multiple signs, whether all at once or over years, would we be able to get a bulk discount, since we would be asking for a contract for many of them. So I've put all that in both of my emails, and so hopefully I'll have real information next month.
Perfect.
I feel like these are all really great discussions because of the timing, because we are about to go into budget talks with council. And so I think that what would really help is if we were to put all of these requests on paper. They have a monetary value. We're not just asking for a group of money for the parks. It's actually for reasons, and they are reasons for things that are falling apart that need to be addressed. Therefore, council would maybe be able to say, no, we're not doing this. Yes, we can do this. So if we could really prioritize and list what you guys want to see done, it would help during budget discussion.
Which is the end of this month, so if
Yes.
we're going to do that, we should probably prioritize right now.
Yes, I would agree.
I I think honestly, being ADA compliant is probably pretty high on that list.
Right,
Absolutely, I agree.
That's like pretty top priority.
that handicap ramp.
Especially because we are anticipating a really large celebration there
Yeah.
in July.
Oh,
Okay, so we're putting handicap
That's
ramp
gonna be
at the top.
awesome, right?
No, at Lakeside Park, so that you can access the pavilion, the largest pavilion.
Campbell Pavilion, right, I believe.
Okay, so we want handicap ramp at the first, and then what would we like after that? Sign, paint,
Well, I think we need to paint for sure.
okay.
Yeah, the swing sets.
So how
looking
much
pretty
money
sad.
do we need for painting the swing sets, both at Crapo and Lakeside? Those both
So,
came up.
I can't speak to the amount that we would need for paint. I would say that that's probably relatively low. The cost will be involved is gonna be, sandblasting that or prepping it. And I'll have to look into how we could do that safely and effectively. We do have a large sandblaster at the DPW available. It's kinda how we take graffiti off of things and stuff like that. And so there would be some sand cost involved there. And then also, without running afoul of Eagle or anyone, we might have to make sure that there's no lead paint on those as well. So it might get a little stickier in terms of prep work, or if we simply were to try to get the rust under control and slap some paint on it. I hate that idea, but at the same time, without doing proper testing and stuff, we can't safely remove paint.
Just
And
send
I do
whatever
wanna
in.
say, like, I did look up, I was, again, curious.
Yep.
How much is it, to buy, like, these swing sets or
Mhm.
whatever? They're not terrible,
Yeah.
honestly.
Right.
So it might be something, again, in the future that we just, instead of trying to slap paint on these things, that we just get new ones.
Because they are old and definitely outdated. I mean, everything else now
Those
is,
swing
is,
sets
is
I
gonna be,
swing on.
yeah, they're gonna be,
Those-
yeah.
Yeah, those swing sets.
Well, that's old then, Amber. They're gonna be galvanized, they're gonna be non-painted surfaces, those were steel, I mean, they need to be painted, so, I mean, anything new would be something worth looking into that wouldn't need that much maintenance, so.
Okay, but the saucer swing was $7,000. What are you saying is not expensive?
It was like $10,000 to $15,000
For the whole swing set?
for the whole, yeah, the
Why
whole.
is the saucer swing $10,000?
The swing set that comes with swings? It comes with swings, it's not just the frame?
No, it is just the frame, it does not come with
There
the
you
swing.
go.
There we go, that's the catch.
Swings are $30,000 apiece.
$50,000, you can have a brand new swing set.
We do have fun here, don't we? What a good group of people. Okay, what else?
Alright,
So,
so-
well, for painting the swings and
Let me look,
sandblasting
just-
them,
just-
would $500 or $1,000?
I'd say safely $1,000.
1,000. Painting them without sandblasting them, what do you think?
I can't say more than $200.
Have you checked the cost of paint lately?
Yeah, I've been painting a lot, oh yeah.
It's pretty pricey nowadays. All right, grass seed for, Waterworks Park, and what she's talking about is the north part of the park at the parking lot level, right? How much do we need for grass seed?
Was it over
Or
there?
were you talking about like where it's all dying?
I don't think it was where it was all dying, because I think none of us knew why it's all dying,
No,
right?
because that discussion was when we pull those stumps and we get that. taken
Yes.
up, instead of having mud, we want to plant grass seed.
I see.
Also because we want to avoid the possibility of erosion.
And is the wood chips that we need to add to the side parking area, is that something that,
That's free, right?
That's free.
oh, fantastic, love
I have
that.
500 yards sitting in the township park, I
Yeah,
gotta use up.
you had estimated, I think, 3 to 4 loads that we would need of it,
Right.
so, okay.
That's free, but how much do we have to spend on grass seed for that area?
We could probably get 150 pounds for, $180.
Is that what we need, or do we need 150 pounds?
It would certainly make a pretty good dent over there.
So $200 for grass seed, $1,000 for painting the swings.
Do we know how much, we didn't get a price on the ramp. Like, do we know about what that would cost for the handicap?
I'd have to do some
No.
measurements. The DPW could probably pour that in concrete, but again, I'd have to really do some calculations there,
Especially if
to
we're
know
gonna
what we
put
wanna do.
pads in Crapo.
Right.
Now, that would
Well,
be
that's what I'm saying.
nice, a
If
permanent ramp.
we start pouring concrete, we need to be mindful of where we're doing concrete because we can do it all in one truck.
Okay, okay.
Very
And
important.
she was also asking with that ramp, she was asking for a pad off to one side to put a porta-john on, handicap accessible porta-john. off to the side of that same space.
We might be able to kind of section it up. Let's get the ramp done, and then maybe
Okay.
we could do a pad at another time.
Okay, and I
You know
think
what
at
I'm
one time we were concerned about it being not able to clean the porta-john because it was a distance from the road, but it's only about 8 feet from the road, so that's something we can talk about later.
All right, so and then the concrete pads at Crapo
Right,
that was for benches, was
Yeah,
it?
I
2
thought
of
we
them,
said
because one already
2.
has one. Yeah, right, because one has
Yes.
one.
And it's so that we can, when we do replace the benches, so that we can mount the benches right onto, so they can't be taken.
Exactly, yeah. Do we know about how much that would cost, like the concrete pads?
Concrete's like 190 a yard right now, so you're looking at probably a yard per bench pad. We need base material, a little bit of form material, so, relatively, we can do it.
500 a pad?
Yeah,
A pad or for the 2 pads?
a pad,
So 1,000.
$1,000.
Okay.
and there's just 2 benches?
Yes, because we already have a pad there, so we're gonna reuse one,
Okay,
because we're gonna be able to get 3 benches there.
okay.
And Danny said about $300 for replacing the boards on
The bridge.
At the bridge,
And
yep.
that's a definite high priority item because
Yeah,
it is gonna be
definitely.
dangerous.
We've been
and-
talking about it for
yeah.
like 3
Yeah,
years.
we've been talking about this since I've been on here.
Okay, so that's an additional, what we're talking about right now with Crapo, what did we say on the ADA ramp at Lakeside? Approximately, what are you thinking?
I have to measure.
said you'd have to
I
look it
really
up.
have to measure. I don't know, maybe if you wanna throw a number at it, say $3,000.
Okay.
Because if we're gonna do the concrete at Crapo, we definitely wanna do the concrete everywhere, so
Correct.
we would have to include that.
Yep.
So that's the ramp,
4,000.
so that's 75, right, no, 5,500. Plus the 5,500 we just put in for the play equipment. Right?
Yep.
Right.
So, and then the other thing that came up just now was, that we didn't discuss, was the pricing on the signs. Did you get a pricing yet?
I don't have any
So-
idea. It could be anywhere from a few hundred to a couple of thousand. It just depends on what kind of sign we want. Like the more permanent, beautiful ones, like the Village of Holly concrete stucco ones, those are pricey.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
not looking anything like those, but I don't know the cost, so I'll have real information next month, I guess.
Do we want to add in what we were just discussing, this 5,500, that would be 200 for grass seed, $1,000 for painting swings, which could be less if we don't sandblast them, could be half. $300 for the boards to fix at Waterworks Park Bridge, and $1,000 for the concrete at Crapo, and $3,000 for the concrete ramp at Lakeside.
And that comes to,
5,500.
$5,500.
Plus we spent 55 on the other,
So we're at 11 spent,
correct.
Exactly, which leaves us 12.
which leaves
So that
12.
would leave,
Which still leaves us the possibility of doing the ramp unless something else more pressing comes up by next month, but you'll still get the numbers for the ramp on that.
Yes, for the dock.
For the dock.
That's what I
yes.
meant, sorry.
There's a lot of
No,
things
no,
floating
I know
around.
what you meant.
I know.
So, yeah.
I mean, that's looking at being under 10 grand, so that still leaves a little
Right.
bit of playroom.
yeah,
Oh my
we've
goodness,
still
we
got
might
room.
even get a
Talk to them,
sign
see what I
done?
can do, maybe I can get a little.
Yeah,
What a
the sign.
productive year this might be.
Okay, so I would like to make that motion that we delegate the $5,500 for the list of items that I just
300, he said.
Wait,
spelled out.
I'm sorry, what was that?
we didn't discuss that shade.
That's gonna be like $7,000, like we might wanna wait for that for the next.
And we also don't know how big and where. We
Right.
haven't done
We,
the
we
planning
need
on
to
that
talk
yet.
more about it.
No numbers.
And it could be something that maybe goes into that passport grant program that we were looking into at Lakeside, or any other various thing that we wanted, like, that could help with the tot play area too. I mean, it could, so maybe next budget, depending on the soft fall, we'll be able to hopefully do our sunshade too and our tot lot started.
And softball was like 15K, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, 15,
Yeah.
16. I'm sure it's,
We need three
I'm sure it's
huge
more,
areas.
because
Yeah.
it's been a
Actually,
couple
I
years.
got a question.
Yeah.
If we're planning on painting the swings at Lakeside and Crapo, when we're doing the cleanup, can we make like, we're not sandblasting them, but what about taking like a scour pad or something like that? Just try to start start sanding them a little bit as part of our cleanup, if it's a decent day.
Yeah, so that's what I was thinking, was maybe we could be painting them during our cleanup.
If we're thinking about getting a new swing set, why don't we just paint them without sandblasting them and put the money into, looking into a new swing set in next year's budget?
We got softball coming out next, so we won't have enough money.
We won't,
You know, usually our budget runs
We're gonna have
between
a smaller
20 and
budget next
25,
year.
and that's
But,
high.
but painting
No,
and
but-
fixing that could help us buy a couple of years on them, right?
Exactly.
I mean, and
Well,
that's not
that
a
is-
bad
Well,
idea.
that's why I was bringing up the
we
sanding
need more.
on that,
We need it
the
to be the
cleanup,
same.
like,
Yeah.
you
We
get a
need it
couple
to be
people sit
more.
there and-
Yeah.
I think
I-
to Danny's point though, like, we've gotta be careful with lead, like.
Yes,
we need rust
I don't
graders.
know, I honestly don't remember the shape that they were in. I feel like it was just kind of chipping paint, a little bit here and there. Was there any like structural rust issues? I don't remember seeing any really. It was just kind
We
of,
had some surface
different
rust. That's why I was
colors.
saying, like, take some scour pads
Right.
and just kind of
we'd
give
have
them
to,
a scuff.
we'd have to paint them right away though, cause then it's just gonna re-rust. You know what I'm saying? They do make paint that paints over rust. I mean, I don't really believe in it, but I mean, it might buy you a couple of years. You know, so it would be an idea to have, volunteers just paint. I'm weary about having volunteers prep, cause again, without doing, like we learned with the train depot and doing an asbestos survey and everything, it does cost a little bit of money to do like a lead survey. So we would have to like contract a company to come out and do a lead survey and make sure that there's no harmful lead, because you don't wanna expose anybody to any lead paint.
So then, in this case, I'm gonna change that number from 1,000 for painting swings to 500 and taking out sandblasting
Yeah, we'll just
and
paint.
permitting.
Yep.
Which brings the number to 5,000. So that's $200 for grass seed for Waterworks Park, $500 to paint swings at Crapo and Lakeside Park, $300 for the board replacement at the bridge at Waterworks Park, $1,000 to pour concrete pads at Crapo Park for new benches, $3,000 to pour concrete for a ramp at Lakeside Park. That's a total of $5,000. I'd like to make a motion that we delegate $5,000 out of this year's budget to those items.
I'll second that.
Support? Roll call?
Who was the second on that?
Me, Keikos.
Thank
We
you.
had a tie, I thought.
Yeah, Keikos, Kyer, whichever you write down
I
is
just went,
correct.
All right.
Paper lock. Our money, our numbers girl.
Okay, Taylor,
Yes.
McCanny,
Yes.
Carl,
Yes.
Peltonen,
Yes.
Keikos,
Yes.
Taylor. Did I get you?
You already got me.
You didn't get me.
Hamilton,
Yes.
you didn't get me either.
What's his name?
Kyer,
Yes.
Oh, yeah, right.
Did she get you?
She did. Thank you.
Okay, guess passed. Can we go on to item number 2 now? Item number 2, tree board discussion. That would be Jeff, please.
Yes, so we have been looking into on the zoning ordinance, the 157.172 plant material and minimum spacing. So we've been working with our resident expert, Chris Summers, helping us guide what we're doing with the trees that we are recommending the planting. And then the other category we've looked into is for, the word is like undesirable species essentially, whether they're invasive or if they're like weed resistant or disease issues, things like that.
And these are trees that are already on our list?
So these would be trees that were previously there that we were taking a look at and then recommending once we kind of go through all of the information to changes to that.
Okay.
Yeah. So we've been referencing a lot through the DNR, the Michigan Community Tree Selection Guide, and so we're taking some recommendations that the state has for trees that they've done research on that are either drought intolerant, salt resistant, things like that.
And zone appropriate.
In zone appropriate based on our current climate, and then even including a map of the hardness zone too regarding that, and then also talking about the planting area, whether it's small, medium, or large, and then how big the trees get. So you're aware, like, okay, if you plant this tree, it can spread 25 feet with the roots or something, so you obviously don't want that near like a structure, something like that. In terms of, we're just going through a couple of versions of it, and so once we have that, we're kind of on the third iteration of it right now. We're just bouncing back and forth, and so once we have that, we'll bring it, people can give their input, and then we would make that recommendation at that time to adopt the new kind of ordinances that we've changed with that, so.
Sounds great.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, we're just kind of going back and forth. We're talking about things like site usage, so if it's good for a street tree, park, open lawn, overhead utility friendly. So we're trying to spell it out, like if I'm planting a tree at my house, these are the things that I want to know. So we'll have all of that information in some tables, and like I said, the majority of the trees that we're recommending, we've highlighted a few that are in this list, but they're also the ones that score the highest on the DNR's recommendation list. We're not really going past anything. They recommend them from 1 to 10. We're going 7 or higher with our ratings, just because it would have been a really long list.
Yep.
So, and then the one last part about that before, there was a previous section with trees not permitted. We once again kind of went with what the state had recommended for the justification. So we just added those to the undesirable species list, that it would say like prohibited just because of its invasive or disease issues, weak wood, things like that, where it could fall on a structure and things. So hopefully, I would say definitely by the next meeting, we'll have the final version that we can share, that you can take a look at. So,
Excellent.
yeah,
Thank you.
absolutely. Mhm.
We
I
also-
like that they've listed trees based on utility line friendliness. Because watching the trees be diced up, it's
Right.
just really
And
sad for
people
them.
complain that
Yeah.
their trees being cut down, but they don't realize that there's massive power lines right above it.
Yeah, so this is a good way to save the trees and the power lines. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, yep, and I try to keep it simple, so if I were to look at this as like a lay person, which I am, I could read like, okay, this is the tree, this is how big it gets, this is where I should plant it.
I love
So,
it.
And like I said, I'll have copies for everyone once we've worked together to kind of get a few versions of it, so,
Awesome.
yeah.
We've had 2 meetings on this so far. I don't think we scheduled a third, but we probably should. We also would like to be able to put a list of trees that are appropriate for this area on the village website, so when people are looking to buy trees for their yards, they can look and see what we recommend.
I like that.
That's a great idea.
It's important, I think, to provide resources for people and make them easily accessible consistently. Because when you have to hunt for things, you don't care anymore. It's not gonna happen,
And they
right?
don't need to come down to the village office and get a copy, they can just look online.
We was
Love it.
talking about, like, when he was talking about, like, using the Michigan website about the suggested trees and the suggested not to use trees. He was suggesting putting a link to that website
That's smart
on the
too.
page, so
Yeah.
that way then it's like, we don't have to update, it's a constant,
Yeah.
they're updating, it's a straight link.
So
like it all.
I did embed this year's version of it, but in theory, every year it might update and that link might change, but if we could have it on our website, I think that would be an easy way to access it. Because there's other good information, like does it flower, is it a single, is it multiple seeds, things like that, which I can only put so much in a document before it's like, I've made this too long and, not user-friendly, so, we had talked about adding it there because there's a lot of helpful information for that. And we also have the Latin names too, so if
I love
anyone was curious.
I will never be able to say them, but I would like to read them.
Oh, I was typing them out like, I don't even know what this says, so, yep.
Is there anything else on this tree board discussion? If not, we will move to item number 3, which is spring cleanup.
Only thing I had was,
Thank you, guys, for all the work you did on that so far.
I think we have our spring cleanup scheduled for the 25th, is that correct? And anybody got anything else to say? I think we've talked about this before.
the only thing
Yes,
I
meeting.
had regarding this was, for the high school students. Oh, go ahead.
Are you talking about
The spring cleanup.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Is that what we were talking about?
Yes.
Okay.
I thought I misheard you, I'm sorry.
No, no worries. So when I was talking about the high school students, they do it a little differently where they essentially send out information to students in like the NHS or other organizations that need volunteering hours, and they recommended like a sign up. So I didn't know if we could create like a Sign Up Genius, which is like a free online thing that the school could send out to those students, and then they would essentially sign up there. So how it works with a lot of them, because they drive, they just say, hey, this event's taking place, you can go there and get volunteer hours. So I was thinking if we made like a sign up for those students, when that email got sent to them, they could know more information, where to arrive, what park to go to, things like that. So my question would be, A, can I create that sign up? And then B, like what relevant information would we have? Like, I don't know if we have like, everyone just comes to Waterworks and then we could decide from there where they go separately. So I could just do the date, the time, Waterworks, and then them to sign up, so. Or if there's.
And maybe like, I would maybe include stuff like, you know, bring gardening gloves or something like that, some
What
kind
to
of
bring.
PPE kind of
Okay.
things.
Wear long sleeves.
So
I think that's a
like
great idea,
attire,
the sign up.
Right.
attire and,
Poison ivy.
yeah, okay.
Oh, yeah, beware
But
that.
yes, we will volunteer you to make that, absolutely.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah. I'll send it to you all to approve it before I send it out to anybody.
Is that something that we can also share publicly, or is it?
Yeah,
just for
absolutely.
schools?
Yeah, anyone can do it. It was just a matter of like, for the high school crowd in particular, like the middle school, say we have 10 kids, they'll come. Whereas high school kids, they just send it to them and they sign up if they can make it. So
I think
I'd be
it's a good
more
idea.
than happy to share that for other people. Cause then it'll email you reminders like, hey, you signed up for this. This is, you know, that kind of a thing,
Because
so.
that could be posted on the Village of Holly Park's Facebook and the event page, and then everybody would have access to it all the time.
Yeah, so it's just like a Sign Up Genius link where they'd come in, they'd put like a simple thing like name, email, and then they would just say that they're gonna go. It would only be for people who would be attending, so.
Love it. I think it's great.
Yeah.
Okay,
Because the middle school is like, I'm reaching out and there, she's making a list and trying to get them together, but
Yeah, 'cause
it's
it's-
got a lot younger kids because they're middle school.
right, their parents are gonna have to drive them there, whereas high school kids, if they show up, then they can go, so. I will create a sign up form. We could do like, there was a couple options, like you can do a Google form, something like that. But I think like the Sign Up Genius is kind of like the generic one that you see for a lot of events. So once I create the sign up, I'll send it out and then we can kind of say this is good and then we can use it or alter it as needed, so.
Absolutely.
That
Great
was the
job.
thing.
Thank you for looking into
Yes.
that.
Very good.
Anything else on spring cleanup? Do we have everything we need?
No, we're just confirming that we're gonna be at Waterworks, right? 'Cause I know
Well,
we
yeah,
talked
so
about that
I was
earlier.
gonna say, I passed out to everybody, did I give you one, Tim? You, I don't know if you were
I
here.
only brought my sheet, I don't have.
Yeah, all
Here,
the
you can have
stuff
a
that
copy of
we,
the notes I took. I know that Regina was taking notes, writing them down, I was taking notes, I just made a list of, the notes that I took. I'd like to add to that, if there was anything I forgot, I know for sure I forgot the ramp at the pavilion at Lakeside Park.
but we're not putting that in on the workday.
No, no.
This is just the
But
workday.
This is just a synopsis of the discussions that we
Oh,
had for the record.
Okay, okay.
So just to read for the record.
I see.
Into the record, what we discussed and what we observed at Waterworks Park, we started there. The stumps at the north end of the park need to get pulled and removed. The weeds and the tall grasses need to be weed whipped at the north end, along the river and the hillside. We need to reseed with grass seed at the north end, where the stumps get removed in that whole area. Pick up sticks all over the park. That's something that definitely I think we want to do at our cleanup. Replace 10 boards on the bridge. Sand and stain the bridge rail, replacing 3 boards on the handrail. Remove 4 fallen trees in the river. Remove 3 fallen trees in the park. Weed the flower beds. Deadhead the hydrangea bushes. Cut back the ornamental grasses in the flower beds. Replace the garbage cans, a minimum of 4 cans. Add more wood chips to the picnic area. Bring over 4 tables from Lakeside Park. Those are the notes that I had. Regina, did you have anything else on that park that I overlooked?
I don't think so. I mean, we talked about poison ivy as definitely at Waterworks. Was that on here and I didn't hear you?
No.
No. Mine is a lot of the future plans also that we discussed, so mine is a lot.
Do you want to add
Bigger.
what you've got for Waterworks Park?
Just the poison
Before I go to
ivy.
The next one? Okay.
Yeah.
Then, is there anybody else that had anything they wanted to add to Waterworks Park for the record of what we went over
I
when we were
think
there?
this is probably gonna cover
Oh, the
most
sign,
of the
like,
day.
the signage isn't on there at all. I know that that's not something that we like pick up and
The
maintain,
signage,
but.
yes, thank you.
For the trees in the river, I think we had discussed this at the walkthrough, that I believe that the Shiawassee River Coalition, they take care of the trees in the river and they prefer to do that. I did reach out to Sue, I sent her an email, so I'm waiting for her response. And I invited her to please come to Waterworks because we were working so close to the river in the embankments to make sure that our collaboration was, hand in hand here and that we are working across.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, for sure. So we'll see what she has to say, because I do believe they're very specific about how the trees are removed from the river because they want to protect the embankments.
Yeah.
And they only cut them to canoe width, not even paddle width. So I think they probably won't want us to touch the trees in the river, so we'll get confirmation on that.
I think that works on our end.
Yeah, it's a lot less work for us.
Okay, so then the discussions that we had at Crapo Park was replacing the benches and pouring concrete pads under each bench, replace the softball under the swings in the playground, repainting the swing set, replacing the retention wall behind the pavilion. Oh, we did not bring that up tonight, forgot about that. Replacing the tables at the park, in the park, restoring the power at the outlet. And then, we also discussed, something about the DDA Design Committee, which I'll cover in my report later, but, is there anything else for Crapo Park that I didn't note?
No, but for the retention wall or whatever, I know you said like we didn't talk about that, but I believe when we were there, Danny was kind of talking about maybe finding some railroad ties that like wouldn't be like a huge cost.
True, yeah.
I did look them up on Facebook Marketplace, and they're pretty affordable, but they're not close. So that makes them more expensive, because I think they're like a couple hours from here, was the closest I could find, but they're only about like $15 a piece, which was like, wow, might get myself some, but, so, I mean, it's something, I think he had mentioned maybe asking the railway, I'm not sure, yeah.
Maybe they could arrive by train,
That would be so exciting.
push them off.
Was just gonna suggest asking the railroad, since they replaced their ties, and they could just leave the old ones, dump them in Crapo Park, since
All right, so
it's
that's all I
right
had for
there.
Crapo. For Cyclone Park, we were talking about needing to clean up the east and the west property lines along the fencing. We have a whole lot of overgrowth there that just needs to be cut back. In that, there's a lot of poison ivy and picker bushes, and it's an eyesore. We talked about the need for expanding the parking lot so that it could be used not only for the purpose of this building here now at the park, but also for the purpose of downtown events, having more of an additional parking lot space. We also talked about the need for adding a retention pond to help with managing the standing water issues that this park has at Cyclone Park. Anything I overlooked on Cyclone Park? So then we moved from there to Lakeside Park. We talked about removing the sandbox and having the cats find somewhere else to go to the bathroom. The sandbox is not getting as much use from the kids as it is the cats. So, and it needs work. And since it's not getting used a lot, it makes maybe more sense to remove it. We also talked about putting in a tot lot in that area where the sandbox was, so that we can cater to kids of younger ages, which we currently don't offer anything for in our parks. We also talked about removing a section of fencing between the sidewalk and the basketball court. We talked about painting the remaining cyclone fences black. That would be next to the basketball court, and then also next to that tot lot area. That would be on the western side of the sidewalk. We also talked about repainting that swing set. We talked about replacing the softball around the swing set, the slides and the playscape. We talked about adding shade sails over the playscape, planting a second tree line in front of the mature cedar tree line in preparation for the possibility of the cedar trees expiring. They are very old, so we should start thinking about that with some of the funds that we already have for planting trees, which could be planted there, right? We also talked about the need to repaint the bathroom and also replacing the whole bathroom eventually. And then not listed was adding a ramp at the pavilion to make it ADA compliant. Was there anything else for Lakeside Park or the boat launch that would
know we did talk about cutting some of that foliage back on the water.
Yes, I'm sorry, yep.
Yep, good point.
So I didn't know, in terms of, obviously, we wouldn't go too close to the edge of the water, but at least some of the stuff that's further back. I think we kind of identified that pine tree with the minor, like, small tree fort in it as, the line there, so.
There is no tree fort. Shh.
Yes, alleged tree fort.
I have no idea whose grandkids put that tree fort in there either.
We also talked about the gorgeous driveway. It's also kind of the entrance to the cemetery. So it's the
Yes.
park and it's the cemetery, and it's a
Yes.
major
Yeah.
project that we need to look into and figure out where these funds come from, grants, what do we need to do?
That would
It's not
probably
good for
fall more
funerals.
under general
Yeah.
than
I'm
park.
thinking a swing set would look fabulous over there at Lakeside
One
Park.
of those gale swings? Yes.
I agree with that, actually.
Yeah.
I think you should find like
Maybe a
3 or
couple
4
of
of them.
Uh-huh.
I agree, yeah, I think those would be
And-
beautiful there.
I'm gonna list it just like that. I'm gonna say, add a gale swing. Just one?
2,
Two, okay, times two.
yeah, right by the lake.
Mhm.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
Swinging.
Great. Anything else that we overlooked for Lakeside? It was getting really cold by this point.
It started getting really
You'll see
windy.
the last I took notes for Genshaw. Anything else though?
No.
Okay, so then after that, we moved on to Ganshaw Park. We're discussed putting in requests for more matching funds to move forward with the plans that we have also with some grant opportunities. There was a lot of discussion about grant opportunities we could probably take advantage of. The invasive weeds need to be removed at the water's edge. We have to have the water's edge inspected for the possibility of a fen ecosystem. Replacing the gazebo with a new centrally located gazebo and building a viewing pier into the water off of that gazebo. Extend the parking lot to accommodate more parking. Fix the lighting inside the existing gazebo, which might be just replacing a light bulb. Maybe, we don't know why it's not on or doesn't go on. And then, new garbage cans and new picnic tables, which were already, slotted to be replaced with the CBG.
CDBG.
Yep.
Is that right? CBG?
Community
CDBG.
Development Block Grant.
CDBG.
CDBG.
You have to say it 5 times
Community
fast.
Development
Can't say it
Block.
once. So the garbage cans and the picnic tables were already being paid for. That will happen. Anything else from that park?
The only thing I noticed was that barrier around where the tree and the 2 benches are. It seems to, like, there's a weed barrier around that garden. That would be on, I guess, the south end of it.
Okay.
It's kind of like-
Right next to Sulfaro's
Yes.
office? Okay.
Yes. So there's the tree with the 2 benches there, and that weed barrier around it's kind of like up in the air and all around. So I don't know if that's something we would replace or remove. It's a small area, but I just don't know if that's like a hazard or anything, if that weed barrier is kind of like up in the air and stuff.
Are you suggesting that we need to clean it up or we need to change it, alter it?
I believe we would need to assess that, but it seems like we could maybe repair it from its current state. It could need some stakes, I'm not sure.
From
But
what
I
I,
do know from 2 years ago, like when we planted the H, we actually had more volunteers, so they were able to work in that garden.
That's where I
front.
was, yeah.
And then, I feel like, we like raked that out.
Yes,
and-
yeah,
So I
yeah.
think we were able to improve that. I think we should be okay with just like improving that, like without having to replace it.
Yeah, it's just the barrier around it itself seems. to be
yeah,
insane.
from what I remember, looking at that and being, working at that park, the roots from that river birch have lifted that barrier out of the ground, and so at this point, it would probably be best just to cut it off, just aesthetically, because I don't think we're gonna be able to get through those roots in order to reestablish it.
Okay,
Okay.
so just, something you can consider with that.
Sure. Is that something that we would want to see for the cleanup day, to have some chips there to be spread? Are we gonna have enough people to do that, or do we wanna just focus our efforts on Waterworks Park and repainting at Crapo and Lakeside?
Well, so that is the next topic of discussion on
Okay.
this, but before we do that, was there anything else that we overlooked on the notes for that part?
only the potential temporary art installation that will probably happen over the summer, depending on what the DDA
Yes.
Design Committee comes up with. We talked about that going down at one end. I don't know which direction that is. Sorry, I'm directionally challenged, but it's one of them. And it being up on the panels and displaying local artists, I thought that was awesome. So I really hope that they, continue to follow through on that. I think it's a great idea to bring people into the parks.
Perfect, yeah. I was gonna put that in my.
Oh, in your thing, yeah, that
DDA
makes more
stuff,
sense.
but, yes. Was there anything else for like improvements or things that we saw needing our attention this year on that park? Okay, so then, there's a whole list of stuff that I just read off for all of those parks, so I guess right now we just need to delegate, what do we want to specifically focus on for our cleanup? Do we want to focus all of our attention at Waterworks Park, which does have several things to do? Or do we want to look at the possibility of maybe having multiple groups? Because it sounds like you've got a group of kids coming. It sounds like we may have a group of the high schoolers coming. And we know Gail's got a group of community service hours people coming.
I like groups. I think, divide and conquer is great. We have a lot to do and accomplish, and, if each of us can like split our time and, move around or manage different areas, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it helps everything get done as much as possible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, for the last 2 years, or 3, steady, we've been concentrating on Waterworks
We
Park,
have,
and we've made good headway there. So maybe if we concentrate a little more this year, then we can just knock it out pretty much.
Okay.
Hopefully. Because we took out some
I love the
trees.
sound of that.
Yeah.
I
Make
hope
progress.
that could happen.
Well, a good amount of work be done there. So,
Look at the way that park looked 6 or 7 years ago and the way it looks now.
I would say.
yeah.
You've done an amazing job. Go ahead.
I
No,
was
it's
gonna
fine.
say,
So then maybe another park, Crapo maybe,
Cyclone.
That's-
The
Or
brush
Lakeside.
done on each side.
Yeah.
And
for
the mattress
baseball
out of the-
season.
you
Out of the
know,
weeds there.
Yeah, so if I'm,
keep our groups at a couple parks.
Like if, what were you saying, putting, wood chips down again?
It would be at Waterworks Park under the picnic area.
But we were also
And
just
somewhere
discussing.
Oh, and at
adding that.
Ganshaw Park.
At Gansha? Okay.
Under the river birch, the south side, there's 2 benches under a river birch tree. I believe that was actually a donated
Yes.
memorial tree.
One, the benches, I think, are like.
They are
Yeah,
in-
that would just
they
take
are.
a couple of people, just a little time just to spread out a couple of piles there. So,
Oh,
I'd
yeah,
say
if the
definitely
piles
get
are
that
there
done.
already, yeah. That'd be good.
Okay. At Waterworks Park, do you think it's feasible that the DPW might be able to help us with removing and pulling stumps on the cleanup day, like we were talking about earlier?
Remind me again when cleanup day is?
The 25th.
The 25th.
Couple weeks out.
3.
I'm sure I can donate some of my time to operate, so I mean, as long as I have the village manager's blessing to use, village equipment on off hours, I'm sure it's not a big deal, so it's something we could probably definitely do.
On the day of our walkthrough, you had mentioned thinking that maybe you might be able to recruit somebody else in the DPW to help with a second machine. That may be the only way we could have enough manpower to pull all of those stumps.
It would be a second guy in order to move the brush trucks around if we had to dump them.
Oh, okay.
I have yet to ask anybody, so I can ask.
So then in that case, pulling the stumps at Waterworks Park, weeding, or doing the tall grasses and the weeds along the river, that's usually like a 6-person operation. Reseeding the north end, that would be something that would be done after the fact, probably not during the cleanup, okay. Picking up the sticks all over the park, now that's something that children can assist with, people that can't operate or should not operate power tools in a system?
Why are you looking at me?
'Cause
No,
you're
look at
bringing
me.
Middle schoolers, I thought.
I'm
That's
getting
why I'm
it first.
looking at you.
No,
But
it's
I
just
mean, that's,
depending if
that's
they
a
can get to
project.
Waterworks. That's why I was asking what other parks would we be looking at, because some of the worry is they'd be riding bikes or walking, so they, you know, not all of them would be able to show
Well, I
up.
think a lot of them get rides from their parents though, for that.
Well, that was the
kind of
concern
stuff.
from, like I said, what, I can't remember her name, but who I was talking to through the middle school that's setting up the sign-up sheet is, some would be coming on their own, like, you know, cause they live in the
Yeah,
neighborhood, or some are
that'd be
down
fine.
from the park, so.
But anyway, so if I was gonna say, picking up sticks and weeding the flower beds are things that can be done by people that are not, that it's not safe to have them using power tools. That also includes deadheading the hydrangeas and cutting back the grasses there. Adding more wood chips to the picnic area is also typically done with rakes, not power tools. Usually we do it that way. So all in all, I would say if we had 20 people at Waterworks Park, that stuff could be done in that day easy. If we have additional people, now I think we can do multiple groups. And at Crapo Park, we were earmarking the possibility of repainting the swing set that day. And then another thing that we didn't, I don't think that the other stuff on Crapo Park could really be done during that day. But also, another thing that could be done is weeding the flower beds in the parking lot at Crapo. That's something that's really necessary to be done for the sake of visitors coming
Well,
into
maybe
town.
like hammer down those, that re-rod that's coming up too.
I thought you were gonna pound, I thought DPW was gonna do that. Just pound that down.
We're on it tomorrow.
Okay, great then.
So I would say like a team of a half a dozen people or 4 people at Crapo Park would be sufficient for the stuff that we're talking about doing there.
If we're going, just a note, if we're going to do that at Crapo and paint, I think we should probably put out a statement to people too, so that they don't bring their kids down to swing while we're painting.
If we do,
You know,
yeah.
that's what I'm saying. If we do that, I think we
Announce
should
it ahead
do.
of time and day of.
Exactly,
Yeah,
so that people
with a
aren't like,
sign.
I tried to take my kid down there. Yeah.
Don't touch the swing set.
Right.
Caught you red-handed.
Yeah, and we're getting ready.
And your fingerprints will be in the swing set.
All right, and then, the Cyclone Park, so the idea of taking on the brush on the east and the west side, now, is that something that the DPW might be able to manage doing this year without it being involving volunteers? Or is
Like
this
on
something that
normal
we should-
working hours?
Ye-
No,
Yes,
no.
okay.
We have too many other things to do, I'm not gonna lie.
No, that's good,
Yeah.
we need
No,
that.
Yeah.
we
The
know.
only thing is I know from experience, there is a lot of poison ivy in there. It
I
needs to be a
volunteer
skilled
myself.
crew.
Are the old,
You volunteer yourself?
Yeah, I'm not allergic to poison.
And I volunteer my husband, he's not allergic either.
As I say, if we wanna do that, like, I would have no problem, cause I have no issue with
Okay.
poison.
And we can bring like some of those painter clear
It can't be
plastic
just, it
tarps so
just
that we
can't
can
be just
wrap it
anybody
up.
who's doing that, I don't think.
Yeah.
I think it needs to be very well
Very
known.
specific.
Right.
You were probably gonna run into poison ivy.
you're talking about the tennis court.
No.
No, she's talking along like where
Just
the back of
along
these
the fence
houses,
here.
and then the back of the house is over here.
On each end, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
Just to clean
Built
it up.
brush,
it
you
looks
know?
so-
yeah,
So are you spraying for
mattress,
it, or are you
don't
gonna
forget.
try pulling
Yeah,
it
and a
out?
mattress. And it was this end that wanted more done, right? This end
Well,
wanted
it probably
less?
needs to be killed.
I don't remember, we talked about it.
I think,
No, vice versa.
yeah, that end is the one
Probably
that
not.
is
Right, probably
encroached more
not.
so than this side has.
I
Yeah.
just know this side over here.
Side where the old
house
tennis courts is,
so.
yeah.
Clean out poison ivy, it
Not-
grows
and I'm
back in
not
5
referring to
minutes.
cleaning out the tennis
yeah,
court.
It grows
Right,
right
that's a way
back.
future
Like
project.
in a month, it's gonna be back.
Yeah, that'd be a good
A big one.
project.
Which I didn't even
Be
make
cool to
mention of on here.
Bring that back.
So do we wanna talk about too, like, shifts, like who wants to do what
Not
shifts,
the
because we've talked about that, so that everybody doesn't have to, stay there
Yeah.
all day. Does anybody prefer working in the morning, does anybody prefer prefer working in the afternoon?
The afternoon's warmer.
So in the years past, we've done 2 shifts, like from 9 AM until noon, and then noon to 3. I don't mind doing the morning, and that works better for my schedule that day, to do the morning. If it's feasible that I can do just half the day.
I would love to do the morning, and I'm available all day, so.
Well, now, we're also too, if we're talking about having multiple locations, we have to have somebody from our board who's at each location for the whole,
True
or
story.
somebody's.
The whole shift?
Yeah, we
Okay.
can't leave volunteers to just do,
Willy-nilly.
yeah. We've lost some good plants that way.
In
Yeah.
memoriam.
Well, I guess the key is like, take like the middle schoolers, for example, like, where would you like them? That would depend on
Probably
where I would go then.
Okay, so for
Waterworks.
these projects that we were saying, I would say Waterworks.
Waterworks.
Because they
Right.
can pick up the sticks and do the
Mhm.
weeding.
Okay.
Or or if you have a real abundance of them, having a responsible adult take a group of them to crepe out and weed the flower boxes.
Okay.
Not painting,
No,
not, yeah,
absolutely not, yeah.
climbing the swings to
Well,
paint
and even
them.
spreading out, like if we dump the wood chips there, you
Yep.
need people to spread that out,
Yep.
just with rakes.
So picking up sticks, weeding, and spreading wood chips, and that would be on that sign of genius for the kids.
So
Like-
Ganshaw, Crapo, Waterworks. Okay.
So I would write like
The
what
meeting spot being
they would be
Waterworks.
doing.
Okay.
Be
And you
this
need to
one,
clone yourself so you can be at all 3.
That just moves
Now, the
So
Gan,
it's
okay, so the
raking,
Ganshaw
weeding,
Park spot that we were talking about moving wood chips there, that's probably gonna be an hour.
If that.
It's so, whoever's there starts in the morning and then moves over to one of the other parks. That's a really small project.
Which one?
The Ganshaw.
The Ganshaw,
park,
just
spreading
under that
wood chips
tree.
around the benches.
Yeah, I even think I got a couple of rakes I could keep in my car, so it wouldn't even take like a lot to take.
You
back
wanna
and
do that
forth.
the night before? Is that what you're saying?
I could drop my son off and.
I'll meet you up there.
You're being volunteered for all the shifts, and
Yeah.
overtime.
Drinks at Battle Alley after.
Who's buying?
So, then that means we're focusing basically 2 groups. Waterworks
And
being the
Cyclone.
primary workload,
Mhm.
and then painting and weed pulling at Crapo. Oh, no, and then
Cyclone.
Cyclone. And you're gonna head up the Cyclone?
I was gonna say, yeah, like do you wanna work with me at Cyclone?
I'll work
She's sending
wherever.
her husband with you for sure.
I'll work wherever, I don't care.
Okay. It's my preference, if it's not needed for me to be there the whole day, I'll start at Waterworks Park in the morning.
Okay.
I'll be there about 8:30 in case we get community service guys getting there early.
Yeah, I'd
I'll
rather
come at
morning
noon
too.
to Waterworks.
Okay, so we got Sarah and Tim morning. Did you say morning?
I don't
too?
care,
Okay.
either one, and I'll go to any park you want me to.
I was gonna say I'm fine with morning or
Doesn't
afternoon.
matter
Doesn't
to me.
matter to me.
So Risa, do you wanna do the afternoon then? at
Sure.
Waterworks?
Okay,
It's warmer for you.
it's warmer.
1, 2, 3.
So if we have Sarah and Tim in the morning, then maybe
And
Risa.
Gail.
I'm fine to do
maybe in
morning
the
too.
afternoon,
Either one.
Or morning.
Yeah.
I'll be afternoon.
And Gail, are you at Waterworks? Or do you wanna do
Yes,
Cyclone?
I can
or-
be at
okay.
Waterworks.
And then Jeff, do you wanna do, Waterworks, or do you wanna do Cyclone? Or Crapo?
Thinking if we have students there and they're all at Waterworks, if I should be there?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
like
would
that.
say.
But I'm open to Cyclone as well. I don't mind either way.
Well, we can always trade off.
Yeah, we
right?
can
You know what I
always
mean? At
move.
lunch, like,
Okay.
Right.
one of
'Cause
us
we're
is
starting
free.
here.
I'll
right?
do 8:30
Starting
then
the Cyclone
at
meeting.
Since we
Waterworks.
all have a list of cell phone numbers, we can
Okay,
move.
you don't have to be there at 8, we're gonna start at 9, but I'll be there just to receive anybody who comes
Yeah.
early.
I'm always early.
Okay, great. So, Tim, what time frame works best for you? You doing the whole day, or do you wanna do a shift?
Preferably just a morning shift.
Okay.
I mean, if I'm needed full day, okay, but
Well, and then at lunch, like, are you gonna go pick up the pizzas? Or,
yes, I'll go pick up the pizza on that
Okay.
day.
Yeah, that was
Just so
another
I
I forgot,
forgot.
I gotta do. the
exactly,
pizza
I know, I
day.
was thinking about that
It's
too.
like, oh, shoot, yeah, yes.
We
So
have
I'll
Pizzas.
drop off the water in the morning.
Pizzas, water, and
Did you
donuts,
say
right?
you're coming in the morning or the afternoon?
All day. So I'm
Okay.
gonna do the morning, starting with Amber and my husband at Cyclone, and whatever tools, you know, are needed, we have. And so, and I know she does too, and then we're hoping to finish here quickly so that we can move to help at Waterworks also.
It'd be great if you could finish here quickly. I think it's a big job though.
It is a big job.
I don't know that we're going to get it
I
done.
don't think we
even know
are.
if you're gonna get- If you could get one side done, that would
Right.
be.
Yeah,
Are you
just
having
which
a-
side do you want us to focus on?
Yeah, wanna brush and
Scott, are we gonna have vintage baseball on this side again this year?
Yeah,
So it would be this side we would focus
The baseball
on.
side, okay, perfect.
Just
Are you
And
having
then-
everybody in town?
I don't know, are we, no, we're not gonna have a dumpster there.
Yeah.
We have 2 dumpsters coming to Waterworks.
So what are you doing with all the brush at Cyclone then?
Well, we're burning it, right? No.
No, you can't. No, we were just talking about that. We can't burn poison.
Right.
Well, if it's dry, you could, when it's green.
No, we're gonna wrap it up in
Still don't think
plastic
so.
and throw it away. That's how we get rid of poison ivy properly and safely.
Good question though, yeah, so we won't have a dumpster here, yeah, for brush. Well,
Can we make a pile and then,
like close to the road, so like,
Which park are
because we
we
only
talking
have 2
about?
dumpsters, right?
We'll have to invest in
Right.
Why don't you have one
But
here
we might have a
we
DPW
could do
bag.
long
when
bags,
we-
yeah, but that's a lot.
I mean, I'll be
With a
around,
trailer.
so,
and one at Waterworks?
But what are your points?
I got a flatbed
I
truck
have-
at work that we could throw.
I have a trailer,
Yeah, but where are you gonna
I
put
don't
it?
know. I
Yeah.
mean, I can bring my trailer
We're just
here,
gonna
but that's
dump it off
about
at
as
the
far as I
DPW.
can do.
Just bring your trailer to Waterworks and put it in the dumpster.
If he comes in on Monday and finds a
I'll
whole
be like, "Look,
pile
what's
of
up?"
brush in the parking lot, don't worry about it.
It's
But
not
are
the first
we-
time that's happened.
Are we gonna have that much brush in Waterworks as we've had in the past?
I just gotta get my trailer out of storage.
I gotta
Well,
work,
the thing is,
well,
we're
I gotta
pulling
work the
stumps.
flatbed truck.
I
And
love it.
they're emptying
So maybe do a dumpster here and a dumpster there.
yeah, I think that'd be best.
So we were just talking, and we could even do lawn bags and on her flatbed truck and my trailer and just bring it to where the dumpsters are so that there's not all this maneuvering of dumpsters and, I mean.
Danny's saying bring one dumpster
Oh,
here
here?
and one there.
Yeah, we can't do leaf bags in the brush dumpsters, so.
They're good
Okay.
at
Oh, okay.
dumping
That's
them
good to
in
know.
dumpster.
That's good to know.
Screw that.
We're learning new things.
Okay,
We'll just bring one here and we'll take one at Waterworks, and if we get full, we can run one
Can
to
we
the
get
park
this
and
done?
Okay,
do it.
perfect.
Yeah.
Please.
Thanks, Danny.
we're making
Like,
our way. This is a big
Okay,
project.
I know,
2
but it's,
dumpsters, 1 at each park, okay. So then moving on, we also have tools. We'll put out another post asking for people to bring tools. In addition to that, Scott has offered to donate tools
Nice.
to us, to Parks or DPW. And then in addition to that, Danny's talking about donating his personal time and asking about bringing heavy machinery tools.
And I'm gonna ask my neighbor, he has a landscape company, I'm gonna ask if they'd be willing to donate a few hours on Saturday.
That would be fantastic.
So I'm really hoping, you know, be like,
And
hey,
I
we'll
already
shout
know
you
I'll
out.
ask him for this park.
Yeah.
It's gonna give me a lot of work. And then also, we were talking about soliciting for food, water, gloves. I bought some gloves, and I'll bring those in case anybody.
I have the
doesn't
water, and I have the
gloves.
water covered, so
Water
don't
and
worry
he's
about that.
got pizza, who's got donuts?
Oh, Cassie at the Holly Donut Shop said she's got donuts. She'll donate donuts.
Who's picking them up?
I will. And I'll bring them to Waterworks at 8:30.
So we're going to
Start
Waterworks first.
For
Then,
Joe's.
yes,
So we're all meeting at Waterworks.
yes.
Waterworks is the meeting here.
Usually there's multiple boxes of donuts, so we can take some and if joiners.
Then I'm gonna come in the morning so I can have donuts. I'll probably be there all day, all day.
Probably
It's fine.
wise, Risa.
Okay.
I want you to miss out on it.
Probably be there all day.
Is there anything else we need to cover for this? We're gonna have the porta johns are all delivered by then, right?
Yep,
Right?
And the bathrooms here will be open at this park?
they're open every day.
Okay, on the weekends too?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think that's it, right? We got poopers, we got food, we got tools, we got a plan.
We'll be working for
We
them.
should be good. All right.
Anything else? No.
Oh, when I go on to the Parks Facebook page, please, everybody, please share it. Try to make it a point to share it multiple times before the event. Thank you.
Only thing I need to know is before the date, just let me know a approximately how many people we're expecting, so when I order the food for,
Good
pizzas.
idea.
Okay, so that's
right.
gonna be more manageable with Jeff making a sign-up genius. In addition to that, how many community service workers do we have? That we asked for, was it
Gail?
20?
Oh, what, 20?
I wasn't saying now, I was saying like when it gets closer, I just need to know.
20 of that, plus the sign-up genius, plus us and our spouses.
So that's
Let's get all
about
told.
50,
So 40, okay,
It's probably
Right.
like 50,
50.
okay.
40, 50.
I was trying to think, I usually get like 10 pizzas, like when I would do it, I think I got like 10 pizzas, like hot and ready's or whatever.
Yeah, I just remember he was saying like just, roundabout numbers,
It's
so you
okay-
know what to cater for.
It's okay to not have enough. We're not advertising free lunch.
Right.
It's a bonus for those that are there helping. So it's okay to not have enough too.
Yeah.
If they're not comfortable doing pizza for 50, just whatever they're willing to donate, that's fine.
Okay,
Are
thank
we,
you.
are we done?
Yes, I think so, ma'am.
Okay, there is no general business. We're up to closing public comments. Anybody here for public comment? Scott? Cool hat.
Scott Schlag, 6378 Weatherford Court in the township. Yes, I do. Danny, I'll come by DPW tomorrow. You can take a look at. I have 5 chainsaws, various sizes,
How many?
5, including a 13.5-foot pole saw, so.
Done.
And a pruner. I've got a hand pruner, and then I have a telescoping pruner, and a couple blowers, leaf blowers. I can let you guys borrow my personal brush cutter. Well, it's a weed whip with a brush cut
Well, that's up
blade
to
on
you.
it.
Does it come with an operator?
So that would be the only thing I would need back. Everything else will be donated to DPW for any other projects.
For real?
I know, right? Isn't that
Oh.
amazing?
I just need photos so I can put it up on and promote my company, so.
Yeah, we should
And then you have your
definitely
company
give a
address.
shout out. for
Stanley Black and Decker,
Okay, just for the,
so.
please put your name on anything that you need back. Make sure it's labeled for us too.
I'll tattoo it. Vintage baseball, we have 3 dates here, and we have our joint game in Ashley, Michigan on Saturday before Father's Day. There will be advertising going up soon around town. I did put my permit in, request in for those dates. And the club in Ohio reached out about places to stay, places to eat, different activities to do while they're here. I gave them 4 Airbnbs in Holly, plus the 2 campgrounds if they're that adventurous. And most of the restaurants in town. I'm gonna go talk to the DDA to see if they can do something to help, welcome these guys in, because the more we welcome them, the more our name gets out to across the country, so. 'Cause I have been talking to a team from
And the more
Kentucky
they wanna
about coming
come
up.
back.
What?
And the more they would want to come.
Exactly.
Back.
So, that's all I got. Any questions about?
No, thank you.
You're
Thank you
welcome.
so much.
Scott, for
And I'll see you
your
tomorrow.
generosity.
Anybody else for public comment? Staff reports.
So I just got a couple quick things. We got our Arbor Day Foundation, Tree City USA classification again this year, so that's great. We did already receive the new trash cans for Crapo Park, and all the other new cans have been distributed properly, so you're gonna see that there's new cans with lids at Waterworks and at Crapo. Still waiting on the tables and benches, so that's all I got.
That's it. Chris?
Well, good, thanks, Risa.
Okay. Board member comments.
Yeah, I can let you know that for the Mill Pond, we had some, well, Ryan from the Water Resources Commission was taking our proposal to the EDI committee, which is the Economic Development and Infrastructure Committee for Oakland County. They met last week. They decided to go ahead and pass our request to submit for a legal lake level unanimously, which was a huge part to try to alleviate time for our administrative processes there. So the next step is for this to proceed to the consent agenda for the next Oakland County Board of Commissioners meeting, which is April 8th, next week. So basically, if they just pass that consent agenda through and don't pull it off and talk, we're ready to move on to court. Or even if they do pull it off and just chat about it, as long as it passes, the next step would be court. So that's where we are with Mill Pond. That's all I've got.
That's great news.
Do you need any assistance from us at all?
Not right now. Right now, things are really calm.
Great.
Amber?
Sure, I'm sure a lot of us saw it. I want to thank the DDA volunteers who brightened up some of our park spaces. I have been in contact with our manager and the DDA director and expressed how I'd like to see better communication when these kind of things happen, so we have a little bit of heads up. He assured me that while well-intentioned, they're going forward with any plantings or updates in our parks we will be communicated with as a board. We look forward to more partnership and communication with our fellow volunteers. I'm going to pass this out. I just did this today, talk about last minute.
I have one.
Okay. Go ahead and pass those down. I just contacted our village manager and our village president. The National Wildlife Federation has this thing called the Mayor's Monarch Pledge. It can work hand in hand with our green initiatives such as Tree City USA, and our most recent collaboration with Village Council to pass out trees. It comes, like I said, from the National Wildlife Federation, and it works towards creating habitats and planting initiatives around our pollinators, because we have had such, the monarch population has decreased by like 90% in the last couple of years, as well as milkweeds, which are one of the only things that monarchs will lay their eggs on. Parts of the pledge have already been started, like the native garden feature there, started by Chris Rankin. That can be encapsulated into this initiative as well by just starting to put maybe some milkweed plants in there to make it a pollinator garden as well as a natural habitat there.
Where are you talking about?
They're at Lakeside, right across, like there's that little natural, I believe it's already a pollinator garden there along, like where the
sign is across the
little
street.
stream that runs there across the street.
Across the street.
Oh.
That's where the
Oh,
sign is,
yes.
right?
There's that little area there.
Yeah.
That's already like a native habitat, but we could kind
Really?
of turn that into like
It
a
is.
pollinator garden.
I did not know that.
We also have a lot of community members who have already started their own milkweed gardens and stuff.
Oh, right
And if
there
you-
where So Julian's thing is. So
Yeah, and if you look at it, like, there's
Right.
just initiatives that we could start, and like I said, we've already got pretty much, you know, a lot of them started already. You know, but we can also partner with the schools too. But just something that I wanted to put on your guys' radar, that this is something that we're working towards as well.
What do we need to do?
You wouldn't have to do anything as a Parks Department. Once we do this pledge, then, once, like, it has in here, like, what we would agree to, basically, which is doing these gardens, issuing a proclamation to protect these kind of things. So there's not a whole lot of, like, the buy-in would be basically that garden right there by Lakeside, where we would just kind of market that to people that, you know, this is something you can come here and see these native species and things that you could in turn into your own garden, right?
Encouragement.
Exactly,
Type thing.
exactly.
So the DDA Design Committee, they do all the Adopt a Gardens.
Exactly.
And so this could be a potential good collaborative effort to talk to them about potentially encouraging people to add, you know, native species plants such as milkweed to encourage pollinators all over Holly. And-
That
and
was my
would be-
last sentence, yep, this
that'd
is,
be
this would be a
freaking
cooperative
awesome.
plan
It's so great, I love
that
this.
can create collaboration between the parks, planning, DDA. It can kind of encompass our whole government here to kind of push forward these green initiatives to make our world a better place.
Is that something that you wanna, take to the next DDA, like the DDA Design Committee?
Well, what we would have to do is basically do this pledge, so we're gonna work on that as a council, and then from there, then we would partner with us as the Parks Board, with the DDA, bring them these initiatives of, hey, this is what we're pledging to do, how would you like to help with this, basically?
Cool.
In the original write-up for the Adopted Gardens, we do promote native planting. Creative Fashions, or it's actually Holly Antiques, they have adopted a bed behind the township offices there. And their planting design basically looked like weeds, but people didn't understand that it was actually all native milkweed.
Right.
So we had a lot of complaints about that, but people just didn't understand, and the public education needs to happen because
Exactly.
some of the native species don't look all that most attractive, but
Right.
people need to know that they're native pollinators.
That's
Yes.
great. And again, yeah, like that already falls into it, and that's what I'm kind of gonna write up, is like, we're already moving towards
Yep.
those steps, right?
Yep,
This would
perfect.
just solidify it. And that's
Tim,
all I
do you have anything?
No, I do not. No, we covered the dock and all that, so I'm good.
Okay. Jeff?
Nope, I will send out that Sign Up Genius tomorrow for us to review so we can get it out there when we're sharing it.
Thank you.
Other than that, yeah.
Gail?
I do not.
Sarah?
We're all set for our ASP guys?
Yeah, 20 individuals, hopefully.
I just have a little bit. There was a Shiawassee River Coalition meeting the week before last. A lot of it is talking about the lake level at the Mill Pond. They are talking about putting in some additional services out in the village at the boat launch out on Fish Lake Road. Porta John, something else was going on, kind of cleaning it up a little bit out there. They would also like to be able to use the spot in Waterworks Park there's a sign, has a lot of information about Holly on one side of it, and the other side is empty. They're wondering if they could use that other side to put some information about the boat launch, some signage about where it is, and the different spots on the river. But I'll probably put that on the agenda for next month, because this group only meets quarterly, so we have plenty of time to talk about it.
Does that open with a key?
Yes,
Oh,
yeah,
so who's got the key?
I have no idea.
That's a good question. We
But
all
we'll
went to
find
Danny.
out. I have no idea.
The locksmith.
Oh, shoot.
I guess it's a bobby pin.
I'll look in my
Oh, yeah, I can
drawers.
do that. I can do the bobby pin thing.
Paper.
So
Right.
I'm done. Is there anything else this evening that anybody else?
Can I make some comments?
You skipped right over
Did
to
I skipped you? You've already talked so much that I forgot. Okay, I'm sorry. I did not mean to skip you.
So the DDA, I did go to the DDA Design Committee meeting, as we were asked to make sure that we had somebody liaisoning between Parks and DDA Design. They meet the third Wednesday of every month. I did go last month, and the things that were discussed that involved us, the Parks Commission and our parks, was that the DDA is looking at, they would love to do an art in the park, kind of a presentation to focus on displaying art from the local artists in the area. And they were earmarking Ganshaw Park. They were gonna put together some frame and what material they would use for displaying the art. And once they have all of that, I'll bring it to the Parks Commission and make sure that you guys are all good with that. I told them that I thought that we would all endorse that because we've discussed art in the park before. Also, the DDA is talking about the Adopt a Garden program. They're gonna be sending out solicitation letters to people that participated last year. The Adopt a Garden program is only a year commitment, so they have to get additional commitment and then also reconfirm people who committed last year. They're working on that. They also want to put together a landscape design proposal and have that professionally done for Crapo Park and how Crapo Park could look with the new depot and landscape design and maybe some upgrades to the pavilion area. They want to invest in doing that, and then all that will come to us once that gets done. I said that I thought that we would be very interested in that. The farmer's market is set to open on May 3rd. They did put in their, I did double check that they did put in their application for the special event permit. Back in February it was put in. There's been administrative delays. It's supposed to go before council, this next council meeting. And hopefully no problems with that. They've already started promoting for May 3rd at Crapo Park. Our holidays meeting has been scheduled for April 23rd. You guys are all welcome to come if you're able to. I wasn't going to be promoting this meeting generally out to like the Facebook page or anything like that yet, because we're still trying to get some of the groundwork laid for some of the preliminary plans.
Where do you meet at?
We meet here at the village office.
Oh, okay.
The DDA design meeting is at the police office on the third Wednesdays. And then lastly, I just wanted to thank Danny, our DPW director. You made it a point to spend your own time, volunteer your own time to come and walk and do the inventory with us of all of our parks. And I wanted to just personally thank you for that. I thought that it made the endeavor and all of our time so much more productive. It was ridiculously more productive. And we already have so many things that are being checked off of our list, and I think it was a lot to do with the fact that you
Yeah.
spent your time doing that with us. So thank you very much.
Thank you, I look forward to helping.
Here, here.
Thank you.
That's it, Lisa, I'm done.
Are you sure? I do have one more thing. We, as a village, sent a card to Judy Jones. Her husband was a chief here many, many years ago. I'm sure you remember him,
Police
Joe.
chief?
And she said to the Village of Holly, "Thanks so much to all of you for thinking of me and for showing you care in such a nice way. That sympathy card that you sent with the written message that was so kind, it really touched my heart. Dan really was an amazing man. Thank you, Judy Jones."
Oh, that's very nice. Thank you.
And unless anybody has anything else, I think that we're adjourned at 8:06.
And we did miss the shuttle launch.
Oh, Sarah, I'm so sorry, but they held it off just for you.
No,